Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Welcome to the weekly download. In this special edition, I'm coming at you from a hotel room in Whistler, British Columbia, Canada. KJ Saka and I are going to perform at the Max Fish tonight. And yeah, I thought I'd take a minute to fire out the weekly download. Hopefully, the wireless quality is good enough at this hotel for this to work. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of briefly show you about some different tricks, like routing tricks that you can do to make analog style delays, right? So, delay is like one of the most important tools in music production, and digital style delays work a little bit differently than like an analog style delay, and they kind of analog style delays have a bit of a different sound, and I didn't really realize this until I started getting into like modular synths and like tape delays and shit like that. So I took what I've learned from there, and I'm gonna put together a little lesson for you on some of the cool things you can do with analog style delays. So first of all, I'm just gonna share my screen here, and we go down the rabbit hole into Ableton World, and I'm going to just get a sample here. Let's just get like a beat. See, maybe a vocal would be better. Trying to get just like a clean break. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So I want to get a really kind of clean break beat kind of thing happening here. And I'm just going to play it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it down a bit. Okay, so we got a pretty straight up beat. I'll probably put some, here, I'll get a vocal too, just so we have a few different options.
It's like minded text. You know we got the JAZ. Space is the place for the cosmic paper chase. Mitch Beer is
Okay, cool. So I'll just do that. Okay, so we got a vocal and we got a beat here, and I'm going to show you how to make the delay. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you what a digital delay is like, right? So digital delay, I'll just put, I'm just going to put a simple delay on this channel, and you can see that what's going to happen, right, is this is a stereo delay, but I'm going to make it mono by hitting the link button so that they're both, the same on each side. And now if I play this beat and then move the dry wet, you'll hear some echoey kind of delay stuff happening. Right? If I put it on 3, it'll be a little more obvious. Right? So basically what's happening as you go over to wet is it's offsetting the beat. So if I put this to 2 and I flick the dry wet back and forth with my mouse, you'll hear when it's on the dry side, there's no effect, and when it's on the wet side, it's literally just moving over 2/16 notes. Right? And you can get a kind of like turntablist style double up sort of beat repeat effect by offsetting the beat a little bit like that, okay? Now, as you turn the feedback up, it's going to repeat and repeat. Check it out. Okay, very classic kind of delay echo effect, okay? And then you change the delay time here. Now, as you turn the feedback up, right, it'll keep going up forever. So that's all well and good if you want to do those sorts of effects. But what if you want to do a delay just on one word, right? So here, let's try to do that.
space is the place for the cosmic paper chase. Mitch Beer is the face on the list base with the list pay zoom. Space is the place for cosmic paper chase. Beer
Right? It's kind of hard to get it.
space is the place for the cosmic.
It's doing it on all of them, right? That's not necessarily what we want. If we want to just have a delay on one word, right, I'm going to go over to the delay effect on the send here, And now I'm going to turn the feedback up, and then you'll see if I turn the send level up, right, that's going to send the delay over, and you can get one word.
Space is the place for the cosmic paper chase. Mitch Beer is the face on the fretless bass with the flawless pace.
Right? And that's really good if you want to get those echoes. But the problem is in the Ableton delays, the feedback doesn't go past 100%, right? So if I flick this over, it's not going to echo forever.
Space is the place for the place.
You see how it's slowly going down. Let's just make sure the audio is coming in. Yeah, it's coming in. So you can see the delay is like slowly coming down. You can't go past 100%, right? And let's say like some of them, like the ping pong delay, the feedback does go up to oh no, it doesn't. I don't think it does. Maybe on the filter delay you can put it on 100%. So I don't really use the delays like to see a filter delay. Does it go to 100%? Yeah, it goes to 100%. So you can hold a filter delay for as long as you like, and it'll just continue holding, right? So if we go here,
space is the place for
okay, so now you can see how there's this filter here, right? This filter delay is operating in a little bit more of an analog style because what's happening here is this feedback parameter is after the filter. So each time it feeds back, it's going to be a little bit more filtered and a little bit more filtered and a little bit more filtered, right? So this is an analog style delay because it's taking the feedback from the end and putting it back in. And a lot of other delays, you have like reverb in this position here, where each time the delay feeds back, it gets slightly more reverb, right? You can't do that with the Ableton delays. But what you can do is this, okay? So this is a fucking such a useful trick, okay? So I'm gonna put this audio effect rack here, and I'm gonna make a wet dry. Anytime I'm using effects, I typically make a wet dry because I like to have effects chains that have more than one effect. And if each effect has its own wet dry, by the time you get to the second effect, like let's say, right, without doing this, let's say I put a chorus, right, and then I put a phaser, right, like that. Well, the phaser is not actually receiving a dry signal. Its version of dry is going to have 30% chorus on it. So it's going to fuck up all the drums and stuff, for example. Check it out. Right, the transients on the drums start falling apart, and it becomes increasingly obvious the more of these effects you put, right? So here, what else has a wet dry? Let's put the reverb, right? Right, like the transients, they don't sound good anymore because this is 44% wet, then this takes that signal, and there's now no longer any dry signal, and then there's definitely no more dry signal there. So what you do, if you want to have a dry signal, right, is you would put the reverb here in two chains, right? Not to be confused with the wrapper. But now we have a dry chain and a wet chain, okay? So then you can vary the volume of the wet chain here. And you could do something like put a phaser and maybe some vinyl distortion, or actually here, I think I find a little bit of compressor can sound really good on a reverb. And you get that like kind of pumping reverb effect, right? Which is very cool, right? That's all very cool. So just as a general rule, anytime you're making effects and you want to truly retain a dry signal, which is usually the case if you're working on vocals or if you're working on drums where you want them to sound really clear and loud but still have an affected sound, you do all of your effects on this wet chain and mix it in kind of in parallel, often with like you know, some EQ, right? But what happens when you want to do delays? Okay, well, check it out. All right, let's say I want to have a delay that has feedback from all the way over here and feeds back into here. Okay, well, check it out. What I would do is I go to the dry chain, or I go to the end of this wet chain, and I make an audio effect rack here, and I would make a chain in it, and this is going to be called route from here, okay? So I'm gonna just make a chain, right? And this is nothing happening here, but this is route from here because I'm gonna look this up later, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the compressor here, and I expand the side chain, and I can tell it to take audio from one audio, route from here, post effects, right? Then if I hit this, right, this will create a feedback loop, okay? So I want to run that feedback loop into a delay, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a delay here. In this case, I'm going to use I'll just use a simple delay actually, just for the sake of simplicity. Where is it? S, simple delay. I'll put the simple delay here. Okay, so now this delay is all the way wet. So now check it out. When I put this, I'm going to group this into a wet dry. So now this is the dry signal, and then this is feedback. Okay, I'll call this feedback. Okay, so this is the secret. Once you have this channel here picked, right, hit the little headphone icon. That is going to make it so that it's now listening to this stage. So this route from here, nothing is happening in this rack, but it's listening from here. So every time that delay feeds back, it's going to run it through this EQ, through this phaser, through this reverb, through this compressor. Okay, so now check it out. So you can hear it feeding back, but the feedback is at 0 on the delay. Now, you're going to want to put a limiter on here because you can blow your speakers because we are breaking Ableton rules. Okay, so you can blow your speakers when you do this. So I'm going to put a limiter here to stop it from feeding back over the top. And you might want to turn your monitors down for a sec because I am going to make this crazy. So now what happens when we add some feedback to this delay here? I'll link it. So you see how the circuit, as it's repeating, is starting to build up a tone as it's running through the effects again and again and again. Now this tone is going to get louder and louder and louder. So if you leave it and leave to your house to go to the store or whatever, it can get really loud and fuck your stereo up. So you want to have a limiter at the end. But you can see how it's like feeding back on itself like an analog delay. Right? Very cool. So, okay, I'm going to turn the feedback down. But yeah, so that's how you can make an analog style delay. Now you could also, if you have a chain selector here, right, this, I'm going to make it so this is feeding the dry signal all the time, but this is only going to feed the wet signal some of the time, right? So in the 0 position, only the dry signal is going to be getting sent to the delay. So now we no longer have that unusual feedback behavior that we created with our feedback routing here and here, right? But if I want to turn the delay on, I can move the chain selector. So now I'm going to put that to macro 1, right? And now, let's say I wanted to do delay.
Spaces.
Here, hang on just a second. I'm going to put the delay here.
Space.
All right. So now, I'm going to put that to macro 1. Sorry, I fucked up. That was supposed to be, I was supposed to do it with that and not the chain selector. Whoops. Okay, so that's off. Now
Space.
So
Space, the place for.
So I can turn the feedback up again.
Space is the place for.
So you can just grab one word now, as we did before here. Actually, I'm going to take the reverb down a bit. Oops. And take the reverb down a bit just so you can hear what's going on a bit more. But this is going to allow you to grab just one word of the delay. Here, I'll take the phaser off and turn the reverb down so it's not as aggressive. But remember how before I was grabbing one word by going.
Space is the place for the cosmic.
Here, I'll turn the feedback up on, or put a delay back on here. Because before, to get just one word, I would have to use the send.
Space is the place, place.
Right? Now I can do a similar thing just inside of this rack. So it's
Space is the place for the
right. So that way you can get one of those like punch in delays with this, and then you can also get above 100% analog style feedback behavior by using this routing hack. Okay, so this would be like routing.
Space is the place for the cosmic paper chase. Mitch Beer is the face on the fretless bass with the flawless pace. Zoom.
All right, so then I would probably want to route this to there as well, and then be able to control it from this level.
Space is the place for the cosmic paper chase. Mitch Beer is the face on the fretless bass with the
Right?
space.
So that, I'll turn that off. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. Now, another characteristic of analog delays that it's really important to understand is that analog delays, like a lot of the time they're created using a tape head, and the tape head would change delay speeds by speeding up and slowing down the tape. So if you change the delay speed while the delay was playing, you would get that kind of melting effect, right? And you can do that in Ableton. I'll take this off of sync, and then I'm going to route this to the delay time here. So I'll just turn it on.
Space.
Right, so this is changing the delay, but it's not making the effect that we want. So to make it make the effect that you want, we can right click and go repitch. Oops. Now, when I move the time delay, right?
Space.
But yeah, so you can get some pretty cool effects with that too. So right click, repitch. That is what makes it a tape delay style effect. To do the routing hack, you make an empty rack, just as route from here, and then take a compressor. And the key to the routing is to use the little headphone icon on the side chain. So you specify where you want it to take from. So you route from here, and then turn the little headphone icon. Without that headphone icon, it won't work. But this headphone icon, it allows you to break all kinds of rules in Ableton, routing audio from anywhere to anywhere else, and you can make all kinds of analog style delay racks. I often use this for, like, let's say I have a track with a long effects chain, and I want to have let's say it's a synth, and then I want to flip it backwards, right? But I don't want to lose the MIDI part. I'll use this trick inside a rack on the synth channel, and then I'll make audio edits on another channel that get fed through the same effects chain as the synth channel with this. You can use this as a parallel routing trick. But yeah, this is how you route audio from anywhere inside of Ableton to anywhere else, breaking all of the rules and allowing you to make analog style feedback arrangements. Just do not forget to put a limiter, because you can make some very, very, very loud noises like this, and you can feedback and destroy your whole setup. And then if you want the maximum possible amount of pitching with a repitch, that's with the ping pong delay, okay? And the ping pong delay, the reason for that is when you go to milliseconds, it goes up to 999, so you get a larger play with a larger parameter range, whereas here the time only goes up to 300, so you're not going to get as much of a pitch down effect with the simple delay or the filter delay as you will with the ping pong delay. The ping pong delay just has a larger range. Okay, so that's how you make analog style feedback racks. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And if you want to download the weekly download, go over to patreon.com/illgates. That's where I do it all. and that's where you can get access to all of these goodies and videos that I make. This video is going to be made private as soon as I'm done, but thank you so much for subscribing. If you subscribe to YouTube, you can get access to many of my paywall videos live as they happen. So click the little bell icon next to subscribe if you want to get updates anytime I'm live, because I'm often doing things that people would pay for live. Pay for after, but I do them live, and that's because I don't want there to be too much of a financial barrier between people learning what I have to offer. So thank you so much for watching. Lots of love, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click the little buy link or little bell link next to subscribe so you get notified. All right, patreon.com/illgates, or you can donate on YouTube. All right, peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.